I'm David, known as This Boy, and welcome to my podcast. This is episode 16, take 4, having major computer problems. Hopefully, this is fixed now. I'm using a different laptop. Um, so, as I said, I'm David. You can find me on various social media platforms such as Etsy, such as Ravelry, and such as Instagram. A few of you have been adding me on Facebook. That's fine. I really don't post much there. But if you want to add me, feel free. Um, yeah, so it's been a very busy month for me, being back at work, adjusting with health issues, etc. I'm getting there. Um, so yeah, that there's not been much in the way of podcasts, but as I say, I did sit down and record 3 podcasts, and at the end of each podcast, there was nothing recorded. So it was very frustrating. Um, So I decided to try on the different laptop with the dye tutorial, which went very well. So I'm using this one. It's actually Dave's MacBook. There's something wrong with my MacBook Air. It told me that the starter disk was full, so I removed a load of stuff, backed everything up somewhere else. So I went to record the other day, and there was nothing at the end of it. So yeah, it was a little frustrating. Um, all of the social media info will be down below, as well as the shop on Etsy. There's not so much of a shop update today, so it's just going to be a straightforward podcast. Um, I dyed the totally teal, that would be tealing, sorry, colourway on the dye tutorial, and it's been a sort of a mixed review. For like 99% of it, it's all been positive. It's just how I do it. I think I get a much more even coverage if I do my dip immersion, or as it's now coined, this boy immersion. So I'm going to go with that. I will do further tutorials in time, um, on speckles, on tonal, on proper traditional immersion method. So they're all to come, as well as sewing tutorials. I've become a bit of a seamster. I find it very relaxing, and I like the fact if it's a smaller project like cushion covers, which I'll show you in a moment, you sit down and do it. A shawl takes a lot more love and dedication, as do socks. So I quite like the almost instant gratification of a quick sewn project. Obviously, there's other sewn projects that take longer than shawls and socks, but I'm not there yet. So I shall go on to finished objects, and at long, 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 long last, they're finished. I've even worn them. So they've been blocked, and I friggin' love them. So just a quick recap, these are a vanilla sock pattern done 2 at a time on 2.5mm circular needles. These are done on my Knit Pro Cubics. I don't see them at hand, but you've all seen them before. I just happen to love the softer cord on them. And the colourway is done by the very talented, very beautiful Christina of Cozy Knits, also from the Dye Another Day podcast. So if you're looking for some beautiful self-striping wool, I can't recommend that you go and check her out enough. Hello Christina, hello Amanda. That is my only finished object. I worked monogamously on them just to get them finished. And then I've gone back to my shawl. So I'll show you. So moving on to whips quite quickly. So you've all seen most of this, or if you haven't, this is my shawl that I'm working on for mine and Kirsty, the Little Bee podcast. We're doing a joint knit along. The theme is anything sci-fi or fantasy. It can be knit along, crochet along, sew along, anything you want, as long as it's a craft. And you started at the start date and not before of the 1st of June, and it ends at the end of August. The colours are still working very well together. That would be tealing, alien sunset, and I'm just moving on to tank. I'm going to move this light out the way a minute. Oh, it's quite dark. But yeah, this is another colourway. So it's now running a different direction. So it's picked up at the bottom of this W compared to this one. So it's picked up the stitches along here, and then it continues the triple yarn overs up to this side. I've just finished another section of the pattern, so I'll be moving on with that. So I have other works in progress, but they're just put aside at the moment. So that's my knitting. I'll go on to talk about sewing once I've talked about the KAL itself. So I've checked out Ravelry just before I came on here, and there are so many entries, it's unbelievable. I didn't think we'd get like 20, but there must be near on 100 participants, and there's still quite a while to go. There's another wee while to go. So I'm going to have to work on mine to get it finished, but if it's not, I'm not entering it, so it's fine. Such beautiful items, but I want to give a special shout out to Andy, who knitted a Star Trek jumper, and it's beautiful, and he did it on a knit machine, which he wasn't sure if it could be entered, but yeah, of course it can be entered, it's knitted. Just because it's quicker on a machine doesn't mean there's less skill or anything. Completely go for it. He's even offered to knit me one if I send him my sizes, but I don't know if that would be a bit rude. I don't really like asking viewers to send me things. But you go for it and you get that entered for sure. Well, you already have, but yeah, well done and go for it. Other favourites that have popped out, and these are just naming a few. There's the Comet Shawl from Whiskey Girl that Eva mentioned that Whiskey should be entering into the KAL. It's very pretty. Time Traveller socks. There's a few pairs of socks. There's Romulan Raspberry, which are really cool. Scotty's hat, I do love that from the Sticky Stitch. And I'm loving Vivacia Knits. Her double knitting projects are really cool. And oh, she's made a little Farscape DRD plush. Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, you should sew in some details if you can. R2D2 hat, Pikachu balaclava, which is cute but also a little scary, but I would have one. Yeah, so I'm just naming a few. There are so many entries. Kirsty and I are going to have our job set out to pick favourites, etc. Owlie's watching over me today. Just having a cup of Starbucks coffee in my new, I call it paper white, and I don't know why I know that term, but that's what I'm calling it. It's a kind of really cool matte finish Starbucks logo cup. But I'm a basic bitch and I like my Starbucks coffee, so I make no apologies. I like it strong and milked. Yeah, so I'll go on. I've been sewing some cushion covers. So as I've mentioned in previous podcasts, I'll give you a little tour. Well, I might, it's a bit messy. I've been sewing of the new station I've got set up. But basically, the theme in the bedroom has gone to grey and lime green. So it's difficult to tell, but this back wall is a grey, light grey colour, and the rest of the room is cream. It's got this special paint that has a light pigment in it that supposedly reflects light gently back out into the room, making it feel brighter, which I thought might be good for the podcast. So I sewed up this. I decided I wanted chevron, grey chevrons, and I put a nice lime green piping round, which will match in with, I'll just give you a quick look here, will match in with this. So as you can see, I'm sorting out all of my fabric over there. It's been getting sorted into bolts. I've just been cutting up cardboard from the box that the tall unit came in. So there's lime green. This top door is going to move to the bottom there. So there'll be a run of lime green doors there, and then this will just become kind of display for knitting, and this one will be for sewing. So I'm loving the new Janome machine. It's an absolute dream to use. And I have my yarn basket. I've tried to put lights around it just to make it a bit more attractive. And I have some finished project bags that are going up on the shop at some time. I'll give you a quick look. Whoops, now I'm throwing them on the floor. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, no more seasickness. I think that's roughly where you are. So this is just a little cute sock project bag. It's the origami one. These are the ones I'll be doing a sewing tutorial on, the small ones. I do offer larger ones, there's just none in the shop at the moment. But it's a nice green peekaboo, navy blue owls on the inside, and little tie handles. This is a new size I'm offering, and I'm loving this material because I get my logo, my badge, on a registration plate. That's so cool. This one's got a nice little handle put on it. It's about 14 inches wide by about 10 inches high. It's got a nice dark spotty interior. And this is the large size I'm offering. So it's quite big. You would definitely get your jumper in here with the wool to go with it. I didn't bother putting a tab on this one, but I'm not sure if I'm regretting that now. Again, dark spotty interior. So this is maybe like a 6 or 7 skein bag. What I'll do is when I'm taking pictures is put how many skeins it looks like it'll hold. I'll maybe mix it up with some Kate, and again it has the This Boy logo. So that's it for the shop update just now, really. So I sewed the square cushion. I also sewed a bolster cushion. So they're fully zipped down here, and I think what I'll do is, if anyone is interested, or I may just do it anyway, is do a tutorial on how I do my throw cushion with zip and piping. I think was how it was described on other tutorials. So yeah, guys, I'm almost at 400 subscribers. It's unbelievable. I'm blown away by how quickly they've built up, how generous all you guys are being with your comments, and it's really nice. It is, and I'm not trying to be fake or insincere. It's coming from the heart. Thank you. The podcast is developing. I'm developing. I'm trying to give you guys what I think you would like to see. There are certain limitations, things like my local yarn stores, etc. And just time is a factor. So I haven't had that much knitting time because of work, so I didn't want to just record a podcast and be like, oh yeah, this is what I showed you last week. I don't want to sit down and bore you. So I would rather, once life's back in the swing like it was when I started, I'll have my knitting back in the swing, I'll be less tired after work, so I'll have more to show you. I don't want to just sit down and record and talk nonsense for 40 minutes and either lose subscribers or have you just switching off the podcast. That's not what I want to do. So when I have stuff to show you, I will, be it news, like good news, or sewing or knitting, I will be recording. But as I say, when I get back into the swing of things, I'm planning on being back to once a week, every Wednesday, with tutorials thrown in there, here and there. So while this is only, what did I say, episode 16, there's a tutorial plus technically 3 that I didn't record, so it's like episode 20. But to celebrate 400, I'm doing a giveaway, but this time it's not my wool. Imagine. I've showed this before. It's woolly things. It's hand spun and hand dyed using all natural products. I think I got confused with this last time. It says hand spun Perendale logwood. So I don't know if logwood is the colourway or if logwood was the material that was used to dye it, but it's a very cute, nice mulberry purple colour. I'm showing it very dark. It's got thread on it. But if anyone, the winner can always contact Maggie and ask what the details are. And then I dove into my stash, and because winter is coming, I picked out this. So it's Erica Knight Maxi Wool, 100 grams, and I would call it super bulky or super chunky. It recommends 10mm needles. So yeah, I'm going to throw these 2 in, and a special gift from Anne, who is my friend and boss, and who is starting up her own, well, she's spreading her business, has thrown in a little bracelet. So it looks like jade and little sparkles, like little diamonds or something. Let's see if this will zoom in, or focus rather. It's focusing on my arm instead. If I come out of the completely. There we go. So it's got little kind of cubic zirconia, diamondy things, and jade or turquoise, something like that. It's on an elasticated wristband, so it'll fit any wrist size. So this is to celebrate 400. So there's only 3 away. It's sitting at 397. So by the time this goes out, we'll be at 400. So I thought I'll do it now anyway. So the rules: you have to be willing to pay for postage. Now bear in mind we'll call it, there's 3 items, but there's no weight to the bracelet. So 2 skeins of wool, so it may cost a little bit more. So what I will do is pay for the postage initially and then just claim it back from the winner. So how to enter: you can enter on Ravelry. I will make a thread for it for the Fantastic 400 or something. And if you wish to enter on YouTube, just leave a comment below and I will enter you in. And Final Herald Mage, I have not forgotten about you. Your skein is sitting ready to go. If you watch the dye tutorial, you'll see that you've won a prize and you got to see how it was made. So I think that makes it all the more special. So almost with excluding the sheep from start to finish, from whatever your project will be, you kind of saw the whole process. So yeah, if you want to enter on YouTube, just leave a comment below and I will enter you in on Ravelry. But if you have a Ravelry account, please go and enter there. It just is a bit less work for me, but I'm aware that there may be some people out there who don't have Ravelry. So I think that's about it. It's a greyish Sunday here. It was beautiful here yesterday. It doesn't seem to be keeping up. I've pulled the curtains just because it's a bit glary. So I'm going to be into town to do a little bit of shopping. I was working yesterday morning, and then spent the rest of the day in the flat with Max the dog, who you haven't seen today, but he's sleeping on the floor. Because I'm filming from my bed and there's stuff everywhere, so there wasn't much room for him. So I'm going to go and do some shopping before I go stir crazy sitting on my own. So thanks for watching and stay tuned for upcoming tutorials and for episode 17. Love to everyone. Bye.